Hello and welcome to another episode of my Working with Apple series. My name is Pullein and this week I'm going to show you a really special trick that you can use in Apple Mail. Now, for those of you who've been following me for a while and those of you who've taken my email productivity course, you will know all about the Action This Day email folder. Now, essentially, for those of you who don't know, the Action This Day email folder is a folder that you create for any email that you need to take action on. That could be a reply, that could be to take the tasks from within that email, whatever it is. If it's actionable, it goes in this folder, and because it's Action This Day, it means you've got 24 hours in which to respond to that email. Now, in the past, what I've shown you is create a folder and just drag and drop into it. But actually, Apple has given us a little trick that I didn't know about until I was watching the WWDC conference this week, and I realized that you can actually use flags for this purpose. Well, actually, I knew you could use flags for this purpose, but there is an actual special trick that you can use with flags that I wouldn't know about, and I'm going to show you that this week. Okay, before we go any further, I would just like to say, if you do get any value from this video whatsoever, then please help me by clicking on that like button below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, and you want to get all the latest tips, tricks, and news on Apple's productivity system, then please subscribe to my channel. Okay, let me now take you into my Apple Mail and show you how to get the most out of this quite simple yet effective trick.
Okay, so any of you who have followed me for some time, particularly when dealing with email, what I've always suggested is that you create for yourself an Action This Day folder. And this is for anything that you want to actually have in your Action This Day. These are emails that you must reply to. And the Action This Day folder is essentially what you want to be trying to clear every 24 hours, hence the phrase Action This Day. However, obviously, this is something that you're going to be adding to constantly. You're going to be getting emails all day, as we all do, and so this is never going to be completely cleared. Maybe you can do it on a weekend. I often do manage to clear my Action This Day folder on a weekend, but it's not a big deal to me if I don't manage to clear it. My goal is to clear emails every 24 hours. So essentially what I mean by that is, like this email here that came from Steve Dotto, it came in at 4:19 a.m. this morning. So essentially the way I see this is I've got until 4:20 tomorrow morning to clear this email. That's, to me, plenty of time to clear it. So what I want to show you here is something that you can do that can really help you to speed this up. So let's choose this particular email from Steve Dotto. I think, okay, I need to reply to this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and say this is a very important email. So I'm going to give that a orange flag because that's right up at the very top. So it's just the way that Apple, I've tried looking at ways of reorganizing these colors. You can't. So orange to Apple is priority number one. That's okay. I've added that one. This one, say from Brian Tracy, is something I'm waiting for. Brian has said, let's just imagine I will get back to you later this week. So I'm going to add that a red flag. And then another one here from Brian, and let's say I've got another one, so that's has to be done today. This one, okay, this is another one that I really need to get done today. Or let's just say it's a waiting for, and Steve Dotto, another waiting for. Okay, so what we've done is we've got 2 orange flags and 3 red flags. Now, what I discovered was, and actually I have to confess, I noticed this from the Apple keynote this week, that you can actually do. Now, as soon as you add a flag, you're going to get this extra mailbox here called flagged. Now, if you go in here and you drop down menu, you've got orange and red. Now, I didn't know this until very recently that you can actually rename these. So if you click on that, I can do Control click and rename Mailbox. So what I'm going to do is Action This Day and hit return. And if I just, because I want to be able to see that. And then red one here, I'm going to change that to waiting for. So rename Mailbox. I'm going to call that waiting for. and hit return. So what I've now got is I've got these flags here that are very, very clear about what they are. So anything that comes into my inbox, I can flag them, and I can hit archive. So I don't have to save it anyway. I'm going to archive. In fact, I'll just select all of these and hit control and just hit archive. The thing is, they don't move from the flagged section, so I don't need to now carry any additional folders if I don't want. So I can go into my action this day, I can reply to this, say blah blah blah, I've replied to Steve Dotto. All I have to do is Shift Command L, and that will remove the flag. Now you may have to do that twice. It depends how many flags you have in action. So if you hit Shift Command L, it's going to add the red flag. If you hit Shift Command L, it's going to change it to no flag. Shift Command L, bringing about the red flag. This one would do the orange flag. So this is now going to change. So I need to change that back. I've just realized what I've done. So I'm going to hit that there. And you'll notice here, just in case you forget when you're hitting the flags, you can actually just see them right up here. You can change the names of as many of these as you wish. Now, the only thing that I've noticed is this doesn't transfer over to your mobile phone. You can't change it on your mobile phone, which is why I don't want to create too many flags because it would get very confusing. All I need to know is if I hit the orange flag, this will come through into my action this day. And if I hit the red flag, it's going to be waiting for. So this is a really quick way of adding tasks. And if you get used to the quick keyboard shortcut, which as I said is Shift Command L, that's going to toggle. So let's just go into, I've got rid of all my, let's go into this one here. Let's go into the archive. Nothing there. Waiting for? No, nothing there. Action this day. I've got a few left in here. So these are some from the older ones that I've done from these demonstrations. So again, let's just say Shift Command L. That's going to add the orange flag. Steve Dotto, Shift Command L. That's going to add the orange flag. Let's just say this is a waiting for. So I can just hit and then it's done. So I can keep these closed because what that's done is it's added these to my list here, and I've got the Gary Hustwaite one and it's all there. Now the other thing that I would point out just as a finish is to use sort by date. This is something I find I have to keep changing, but what I do is I change the date so it gives me the list of emails that I've done. So I've dealt with this one, Shift Command L, and Shift Command L again, it removes the flag. Let's say I've dealt with this one, Shift Command L again. And if I go in here and go back to there, those have disappeared. And because I've already sent them to my archive folder, boom, that is done. So there you go. There's just a quick tip of quickly managing your emails. And all you need to do is slide across here, and you can hit archive and it's going to get straight into there. Just a really, really quick way of processing your email. Well, thank you very much for watching this episode. It just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week.
Well, thank you very much for watching this video. Now, I'd like to introduce you to a brand new way of managing your tasks. Now, this system is called the time sector system. It's designed to do away with your projects, to do away with your goals, or at least do away with them from your time management system, your to-do list manager, and instead focuses on when you are going to do the task. Now, the reason for this is from a research that I did for the whole of last year, figuring out why most people were really struggling with their tasks, getting their tasks done on a day-to-day basis. What I discovered was they were managing their tasks by project. And the biggest problem with managing tasks by project is, first of all, deciding whether a task is a project or not. 2 or more tasks becomes a project, which means that you end up with a huge project list. And once you have a huge project list, just managing that list takes up an awesome amount of time. Time you could better be spent actually doing the work, not organizing. The time sector method is designed to do away with all that processing so that the only decision you have to make is when are you going to do a task. And let's be honest, it doesn't matter how motivated, inspired, how urgent a task is. If you don't have time to do it, it is never going to get done. So I have launched a brand new course that gives you the step-by-step approach of setting up the time sector method. It's a revolutionary course. It's designed for the 21st century. For all the inputs that we get today, all the emails, the Slack messages, and everything else that comes our way, it's designed to deal with that, to manage that so you stay focused on what you have identified are your most important tasks for the day. I'd love to see you in the course. Full details of the course are in the show notes below. I'd love you to check it out. Join me in the course and let's take your productivity to a greater level than you've ever imagined. Well, thank you very much for watching this video. I just wish you all a very, very productive week.